Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Around the Block. I'm joined by Kent. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
Good, great.
Good. Are you have big plans for your weekend?
Nothing too exciting. I think I'm going to get to mow the yard.
Oh, man.
I know, right?
That sounds like fun.
I bet I'm not alone, though. With all the rain we've seen, everybody's yards are crazy right now.
I know. I was just telling myself the other day that I needed to find a day where I could just spend a day in the yard.
Right.
Because I have a couple of flower beds that need to be,
Me too. I've got that to do. The weeds like the rain too.
They're growing like crazy,
They
and
are.
It doesn't matter what I do to try to keep the weeds out. It just does not work.
You can mulch, you can do this, you can spray them. It's Oklahoma.
I know. It's so frustrating though, because there's one beautiful flower bed that I have on the side of my house that has a bunch of hydrangeas in it.
Right.
And every time I drive by it, and I look over at it as I'm driving by, and I'm like, ooh, I see some weeds in there that I need to get
Right.
out.
And then you always have that one neighbor that the weeds don't grow there.
Uh-huh.
You're like, how are they doing that?
I know.
And I put down the mats underneath the mulch, and I've done the whole, right?
All that I've done mats, I've done newspaper, I've done this. It just doesn't seem to work.
No, I know. Maybe one of these days we'll figure it out.
I know. I'm hoping, though, to do it Sundays since it's supposed to be a little bit cooler.
A little cooler, yeah, but if it's raining, we'll see.
That's true.
But hey, we'll take the rain.
I know.
Just to keep on the weeds.
If it's raining, those weeds will come out a whole lot easier.
That's true. They do. That's true enough. So, yeah, that's all my excitement so far. I'm trying to think if I'm doing anything else. I want to work. I want to play my guitar. I haven't been playing my guitar much lately.
Why not? What's going on with that?
I don't know. Just need to get. Sometimes it's just walking back in there and plugging it in is all it takes, and I just haven't been doing it.
Yeah, just been too busy doing other things.
Yeah, and I usually keep an acoustic guitar in the den, and then that'll get hung up on a wall and forget it.
Yeah, when you get commercial breaks in between your show, you play for a little bit.
Well, yeah, right, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah. So maybe some of that.
Yeah, well, good.
How about you? Anything?
Just spending time with family. And
you've been on the go.
I have been on the go like the past 3 or 4 weekends, and I just want a weekend where I don't have to do anything.
That'd be nice.
It would be nice, but there's always something that comes up. I'm telling you, there's always something.
You're a busy mom. You've got those years right now.
I know, and I can't complain because I'm going to miss it when
that's right.
When it's gone.
For sure.
And it goes by so fast.
It does.
Hey, let's talk about a couple of stories that are that we've been talking about all morning, too. We want to give you some updates. Moore has issued a boil order for some of their residents, about 15,000 people, because they found E. coli in their tap water, which is terrifying. You can see on the map right here in red where all of this is in place. So their tap water, they did a test on it. It came back positive for E. coli. They said that sometimes they have false positives, so they wanted to double check it. And when they double checked it, it still came back as positive. So that's why there was a bit of a delay when they announced it yesterday morning.
They play it safe,
sure.
And again, it's not the whole city of Moore. I want to make that clear. If you're just tuning in or you kind of half listening like I do sometimes, it's easy to hear a few words and you're like, what?
More E. coli, it's all over the place.
Right, exactly. So you'll want to, right here at KFR.com, you can find this story, and we have that map for you if it went by a little quickly for you.
Yeah.
So you can see if you live in the neighborhoods that are affected.
Yeah, there's like just a little radius from I-35 and a couple of areas there that you can check it. And I don't have them on my paper, or I would tell them to you specifically. But I do know they said it would be about a 24-hour span before they would get it fixed. Okay. And they announced this yesterday morning. A couple of the residents that lived in that area, they were upset because, they tested it twice and they wanted an earlier heads up. But
why didn't you tell us the first time? Well, because sometimes it comes back and we would have made you worry for nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're hoping. I just checked Moore's Facebook page to see if there was an update before we came over here. So far, no updates. So they should be giving us, there's that map one more time right there.
Okay, good. Right.
So from Southeast 4th, I-35, Indian Hills Road, and Sunny Lane over there in that little portion.
One little click over there to center. So, yeah.
So hopefully we will know in the next few hours how that's played out and if it's fixed and everything, and if residents, how long they'll have to boil their water for 1 minute.
And they're not alone. I mean, this happens in different communities around town, and, cities that rely on Oklahoma City, we can always tell when the lake turns over certain times a year and the water starts tasting a little bit funny.
It does.
And some cities are looking at a little bit of rationing here and there because we've got some areas that haven't seen the rainfall and it's tough, and especially southwestern Oklahoma.
Yeah, there's been quite a few people that have said, or towns that have said, hey, no watering outside, no filling up that swimming pool, no
careful.
washing your cars, none of that, because they're concerned because they're running out of water right now.
Check with your community.
Yeah. Another really cool story that we were talking about earlier today is some research that's being done at Oklahoma State University to help protect firefighters. Firefighting is dangerous, obviously.
Sure.
But another thing that's dangerous for them are the chemicals that they're exposed to that could cause cancer. So now researchers at the Oklahoma State University, they are making strides to build a fabric. You're looking at the process right here, but they're building a fabric that's super fine, but it can trap cancer-causing components on it, and it makes it more breathable and more durable as well as working with fire, you have to make sure that it can't get through your equipment.
Right, all those chemicals they do work where who knows what they're running into that's burning. That's like you said, that smoke drifting that can get through their uniforms, and this is that. It's that nanotechnology that's been building for a couple of decades. It's really amazing, and they're turning basically a fine little liquid into a super tiny little thread, basically.
Yeah. It's like woven into their suits.
Right. Yeah, it's really amazing.
It's pretty interesting how they do it. They go through a little tiny tube through a needle.
Right.
That needle makes the thread. And it's just fascinating to me, I think.
Me too. Incredible that they can make it small enough to do that. They could trap carcinogens that could possibly give you cancer. So maybe that'll be life-saving technology as it moves a little farther along.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. They call it a nanofiber, essentially. But they said there's a few more things they have to do in the process. They have to make sure that it's heat resistant and it won't let any heat in. So they've got some more testing. But the fact that they've gotten this far and it can potentially... a lot of firefighters it's one of their biggest concerns, getting cancer from what they see on a daily basis.
And you have to wonder if that technology works for them, if other areas that work with airborne pathogens, if this could be effective for them. So who knows where it could go?
Yeah, it's just the start.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break and we'll be back with more news right after this. Welcome back to Around the Block on your Friday. This is pretty cool. We are learning more about Oklahoma Airmen and their role that they played last week in Independence Day celebrations in our country. Of course, we know it was the 250th anniversary of America.
Right.
And so it was kind of a big deal, a lot of celebrations all across the country. But the Altus Air Force Base, they represented our state and the Air Force very well during flyovers in New York City and, of course, at our nation's capital. Look at that.
That's so
cool. So cool. In D.C., Altus Airmen, they participated in 2 flyovers as part of the Great American State Fair. Of course, this was video of the KC-46 as it came over the Washington Monument.
Right.
This right here is from New York, sharing their unique view of what they got to experience. How neat is that?
So cool. The refueling wing there, our boys in blue from Jackson County. Altus, actually, the name of the town comes from the same Latin word that means altitude. So that's where we get the word Altus, and it's fitting for our guys, our boys in the blue that are up there in the sky.
That are at a high altitude.
That's right.
You are just a wealth of knowledge. I tell you, you have so much information inside that brain.
I'm going to thank former Mayor George Shirk of Oklahoma City. He wrote the book, Oklahoma Place Names. I read it. And
okay. Yeah. So he's the one that gave you that information and you just absorbed it.
You can go through and find almost any town that's either existing now or used to be a town in Oklahoma, and the place name is in there.
Really? So he wrote a book.
There's 2 of them, I believe. I think it's volume 1 and volume 2. I've read one of them.
Can you remember any other names?
Oh, there's so many that are unusual. I'm trying to think. Of course, everybody knows about slap out. That's one of the better, about the slap out. Mm-hmm. The guy being slap out of everything is why that town is called slap
out. Yeah.
Then there's Nowhere, Oklahoma. Most folks know about that. I can't think of any right off the top.
I mean, we have so many unique names.
Right,
a lot of them, of course, coming from Native American heritage.
So many do indeed.
Yeah. So. I remember the first time I ever went to Tahlequah, which is where I went to college.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure how to say the name. But then every time somebody says Tahlequah, like Tahlequah or something wrong, I'm always like, no. This is how you say it.
I've messed up enough of them. And then I also like in the... for Halloween, we'll go through and name, all the Pumpkin Center and Cutthroat Gap and all the different places that are in Oklahoma that have a spooky sounding name. So it's kind of fun. Yeah.
I love it.
So go to the History Center. And that's how I found out about Altus. Go to the History Center. George Shook has his book there. And you can check that out. Former mayor was also a good author.
Pretty cool. You mean you can't buy that off Amazon?
You probably can.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't remember where I got my copy. My mom used to work at the Historical Society.
Okay.
So I have a bunch of books from there. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I would definitely go to the Historical Society and look it up instead of buying it. But
the History Center is great place to get it.
It is very, very cool. Mm-hmm. This story I know that you love. We talked about it this morning. It's been, of course, we know it's been hot past few days, but it's not stopped people from getting out and playing golf at Oklahoma City golf courses. Mm-hmm. This past year, Oklahoma City had its most golfers that it has ever seen. Over 350,000 rounds of golf played from last June to this July.
Looking at Hefner Golf Course right there. There's their new clubhouse, by the way.
I haven't been there yet.
And I know. It's going to have a couple more wings on it.
Yeah, Mark Diller just walked by and heard us talking about golf, and he said it's because of the Ogles, because we had so many extra rounds of golf.
We're so lucky in this town to have in this state, to have some of the very best public golf courses out there. Of course, the legendary Perry Maxwell, who helped do part of the remodel at Augusta, Georgia, where the Masters is played, he's buried, actually, at Dornick Hills down in Ardmore. Yeah. Built Dornick Hills, Southern Hills in Tulsa, Twin Hills here. He helped do the designs for Hefner, for Lincoln, famously, Lincoln the First. Lincoln has 36 holes, as does Hefner now. So, and he played a role in a number of golf courses around Oklahoma. So we're really blessed to have that. And there's just so many good golf courses in this state.
Yeah, and a lot of public.
That's what I mean. So many of the public courses are good golf courses.
They have a lot of incredible private ones. But the public ones are just as good.
Yeah. It's amazing how good they really are. And again, a lot of that goes back to the Perry Maxwell. It's kind of like anything. He designs a golf course. It's a beautiful golf course. Somebody else comes along and says, well, if I build a public golf course, nobody's going to come play it unless it's up to that standard.
Right.
And so all of a sudden you've got, this excellent standard going on and building all these golf courses around the state. There's just a bunch of them. Northwestern Oklahoma has some great golf courses. The golf course down at Broken Bow is amazing. Yeah. And the state park courses are good.
Oh, yeah. Romanos. My husband played at Romanos, and he's like, that one's difficult.
It's so hard. It has so many slopes and elevation. Yeah. Good stuff.
He's like, that course is crazy.
Yeah. Lots of fun golf courses.
Yeah, for sure. The last time I played with a few friends about a month or so ago at Kicking Bird.
And another great golf course.
It was so fun. It was a lot of fun. Right. My husband likes to go to, of course, Lincoln and then Early Wine often. So
I got to say, I'm a little proud of the Ogle Association with Kicking Bird. There was a time when we didn't have a golf course in Edmond when I was growing up, and my dad and a few of his buddies, David Bickham, there's Bickham Park in Edmond now, but that's really, I think, named for his wife, Kay, but David Bickham, Dallas Graham, who's the city manager, and a few other people, they were kind of the guys that said, we're sick of driving to Oklahoma City to play golf. So they started talking to the city about floating a bond to try to build a golf course. And that's how eventually Kicking Bird came about, because the Reynolds family, Kicking Bird Reynolds, gave the land to the city to build the golf course. So,
wow. Well, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great golf course.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to tell you when we come back about a story. We have an updated story we told you about earlier in the week about a woman who was missing a $50,000 check, got lost in the mail.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And we'll tell you the update on that next. So here's a really cool update for you on a piece of missing mail. We all hate when our mail gets lost, especially something that you're truly waiting on.
Yeah, right.
But we first told you about this family who had this issue. They had sold some family land and they had a $50,000 check, a cashier's check that they sent through the mail through the United States Postal Service, and it got lost. They sent it. They had tracking on it, made sure that it had signed delivery when it got sent to them.
Right.
But it got lost in the middle of June, and as of a couple of days ago, before we told the story, still had not been found. So we did the story with them, and they basically said, it's lost. We can't cancel it, or you'll have to pay the money back. You can't just cancel it. But after our story, the USPS reached back out to the family and said that great news. The bank called, told them that they would put a stop on that cashier's check and issue them a new one, no cost to them. And this time the family says they're not going to take any chances and they're going to make the road trip back to Oklahoma because they had moved from Oklahoma to Texas. Mm-hmm. They're going to make that road trip back and pick it up in person. Wow. So that way this does not happen again.
So I guess my question is, this check is floating around somewhere. Can somebody cash it?
Well, that's what their concern was, because they were worried about that. But apparently the bank canceled that.
They can put a stop on it.
Put a stop on it.
Then if they take it into even though it's
certified check.
Even though they can't, because a lot of times those kind of, I don't want to say can't be questioned, but they're kind of stamped right on through.
Yeah, and I'm sure they can flag that, check and that number or what have you. But it was certified check is essentially like it's like cash.
Right. It's non-questionable.
Right. Exactly.
That's why you get it certified.
Exactly.
So golly, well, I'm glad they're going to be got that worked out.
Yes.
Golly.
Very happy for that family because they were just beside themselves. They tried everything that they could and still could not get anywhere on it.
Well, maybe it'll still turn up. We'll do the other side of that story.
There you go.
Point.
Maybe we'll have to do it on a arrest of somebody trying to cash it.
Right. or the weird Galen Culver story where somebody found it in between a couple of drawers at the post office somewhere.
25 years later.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It was dated way back in 2026.
Oh, man, they must be. Everybody there's already dead from now. All right, this is pretty.
Galen Culver the fourth doing
That's right, exactly. This is pretty cool. More jobs coming to the area. Technically Eastern Oklahoma, but more than 1,000 jobs are coming to Eastern Oklahoma after an Irish company announced that it's going to set up its U.S. headquarters in the Tulsa area.
Okay.
The company is Manna Air Delivery, and they're a leader in drone deliveries. So since 2018, they've used drones to deliver food, medicine, and everyday essentials to homes in a matter of minutes, of course, almost 380,000 times so far across the globe.
Wow.
So they are now setting up their U.S. headquarters in Tulsa.
That's really amazing. Okay, now, I guess I'm way behind the curve. Have you ever had anything delivered to your house by a drone?
No. And I'm not trying to judge.
Jacqueline? No,
Jacqueline says no. I'm not trying to judge anybody, but I'm also the kind of person who's like, if I need it immediately, I'm going to get out, get in the car, go to the store and buy it. I don't want to sit around and wait for it to be delivered.
That doesn't look like it takes very long.
No, I know, but it's like I'm still old school.
It's pretty bizarre.
I'm old school to where I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get in my car and go get it, even if I have to drive 35 miles away.
I understand that. Here's my thing too. Drones are, no matter what anybody says, they're noisy.
Yeah.
I mean, what if are we going to get to be a society where there's like 10 of those over your neighborhood delivering somebody aspirin and somebody bringing somebody their hot, hamburger? I mean, I don't know about that.
Just a constant buzz.
Right.
Instead of hearing birds chirp and grasshoppers sing.
Right, exactly.
It's going to have a buzz of a drone overhead.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe they'll get quieter. I'm not sure.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. And these are big drones,
They are big. They have to be.
I mean, they're not tiny because those tiny ones can't hold on to all of the
weight.
supplies.
Yeah.
So interesting. I'm interested to see. Maybe we can go down there and do a story with them whenever they start to.
I'd be curious.
Yeah, for sure.
And is it going to lead? If people complain enough, it's going to lead to regulation. You can only have so many drones in so much area, and I'm sure there's already some of that right now.
And I mean, of course, you've got to think about airspace.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't go in certain areas, especially in like Air Force is close by.
Right. It's already regulated heavily by the FAA. But I just wonder if it will get even more so.
Oh, I would imagine so because I mean, it's probably going to take a couple of accidents for that to happen.
Right.
I mean, because
and then you got the Yahoo out there that doesn't have a license. All of our weather guys, all our photographers, they all get their license. They know what they're doing. They know the regulations, where they can, where they can't, all that kind of stuff. So they've had to replace so many pieces of glass on the Devon Tower.
From getting hit by drones?
Yes, it happens all the time.
You are kidding me.
Know.
Could you imagine being in your office and all of a sudden,
right?
That'd be awful.
I know. It's true, though.
That's crazy. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about today's bizarre holidays. We were just looking over our bizarre holidays of the day, and Kent was like, who picks these?
Where did they come from? Right?
That is a very good question. All right, we're going to go through some of these. First one is Collector Car Appreciation Day.
I can dig it. I like classic cars.
Me too.
Awesome.
And we're going to see a whole lot with Route 66 right now.
Okay, here's one that makes you say, well, who, why, where to, don't step on a bee day. Well, I don't want to.
I think there should be a national holiday every day.
Right, exactly.
National French Fry Day.
I can get behind that.
Yep, gonna have to celebrate that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think everybody can like that one. Here's another National Kitten Day. What's that mean?
That just gives you a chance to take a selfie with your kitten and post it online. And get lots of likes.
I do that all the time.
National Motorcycle Day.
All right. I used to have a motorcycle.
You did?
A Norton, an old English bike, Norton 850 Commando.
I can just see you riding.
Yeah, it was a fast machine.
I can see it.
Smoking, rattling like all.
I thought you were saying you're smoking. I was like,
no, the bike, the English bikes, they smoke and rattle. Everybody knows that.
Okay. All right, National Pina Colada Day.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not too bad.
Robert Miller would appreciate. He's the laugh guy on the morning show. If you don't know who Robert Miller is. National Pick Blueberries Day, which sounds good.
It does.
But first you got to grow them. Try growing those around here.
Those are tough.
Those are tough to grow.
And then, of course, last one is World Kebab Day. Well, we hope it sounds good, right? Kebabs and pina coladas for dinner tonight. Thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great weekend.
See you later.